Hey guys, this is Justin. I just wanted to do a screencast to show you the four teams that got into the playoffs, the two that got left out, and just my thought process and what teams I think belong, which ones don't, and why. Let's start with the first team, Alabama. So as you can see, this is Alabama's schedule. And if you didn't know, they play in the SEC, which is widely regarded as the most difficult conference to play in. Um, you don't see rankings here, but they played five ranked teams, which is more than almost any other team in the country, and nine bowl eligible teams. They've also won two national championships in the last 5 years, so the track record is there. Three in the last seven. Um, and bottom line is, you just can't leave an SEC team out after they run the gauntlet of the schedule that they have to run. Second team is Oregon. After the SEC, most people think that the Pac-12 is the second best conference in football. I tend to agree. And as you see, Oregon has almost a perfect schedule like Alabama. Alabama had the one loss to Ole Miss, and Oregon has this one loss to Arizona, which you can see they definitely redeemed in the Pac-12 championship before they were crowned champions. Like Alabama, Oregon's another team that's always near the top, so you always know what you're going to get out of them, and they definitely deserve it, beating a few ranked teams in the process, and was strong at a conference win at Michigan or at home versus Michigan State, who is number 8 in the nation. So they're showing they can do it outside of their conference. Third team is Florida State. Their resume is pretty self-explanatory. As you can see, they didn't lose. This is the second straight year they've done this. They were national champions last year, and for some reason people didn't give them much credit this year because they didn't win by as much, but they win every game, and you have to give them credit for that. It's not like their conference is a cakewalk. They still have to play good teams, good players, and they have to perform, or else they can very well lose. And lastly, is Ohio State. Now this is where I think it's a little dicey. They have this loss to Virginia Tech, an unranked Virginia Tech team who finished the season very poorly. None of the other teams have a loss to this bad of a team. However, they did run the table the rest of the way, and with a convincing win in the Big Ten championship against Wisconsin. You also want to consider the fact that they did lose their two quarterbacks and they're on their third string and they're still performing. They do have a good win against Michigan State, but other than that, there's not really much noteworthy, much that's noteworthy. So I don't see the what the committee sees other than this win, and 59-0 obviously is decisive, but I don't know if that makes up for a whole season. Another team that people think had an argument to get in was Baylor. Um, they have also one loss. Their big win is against TCU, who I will get to in a second. They This was their big game versus a ranked team. They also played a very good Oklahoma team, a very good Kansas State team, and they pretty much ran the table. But um, in the end, they're going to be left out a lot because of this non-conference scheduling. They played very weak teams, and then also because the Big 12 doesn't have a conference championship game, so they had one loss, as did TCU, who I'm going to move on to now, and so they are deemed co-champions. TCU, like Baylor, only has one loss, obviously to Baylor. Baylor did win that game, but it was kind of a fluke, and TCU's just got a very impressive resume. They win convincingly time after time, and never fail to disappoint. Always put on a show that they're pretty dominant in every phase of the game. Why I would pick TCU over Baylor despite the head-to-head. First of all, they have a good out-of-conference win against a pretty good Minnesota team. And then, in addition to that, you just try to look at common opponents. Look at this. 82-27 versus Texas Tech. When Baylor played Texas Tech, it was 48-46. That's a big difference. You also see that maybe in the Texas game here, 48-10 for TCU, and see Texas 28-7. Not as big of a difference. So in the end, what I really think should have happened should have been Alabama, Oregon, Florida State, and TCU.